Welcome back to the Bold Women in Business podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Honeyman. We are continuing our countdown of the top 5 episodes of the show, leading up to our very special season 3 launch in a few weeks. This week, we are diving back into an incredible guest episode with Alicia Santandreu, where she shared her story of leaving an abusive situation, getting out of the worst situation, and building a life for herself and becoming a really successful entrepreneur as a result. I think there's just so much that we can all gain from this story and from this episode. The conversation that we had was just incredible. And I think it resonated with a lot of people because so many of us enter entrepreneurship from a state of needing to feel empowered. And even if you've never experienced abuse, and I hope you never have and never will, there are still situations where we feel disempowered. And through that, we find a way to empower ourselves. And for many of us, entrepreneurship is the path toward that. So I hope you get a lot out of listening to Alicia's story again or for the first time, and hearing how you can overcome some of the worst things to become a truly mission-driven entrepreneur who's making such an incredible impact in the world. Enjoy. Hey, beautiful human. You're listening to Bold Women in Business, the show where strategy meets soul in marketing, branding, and business growth. I'm your host, Rachel Honeyman, messaging and branding strategist, content queen, and compulsive meaning maker. Every week, I'll help you ditch the cookie cutter playbook and build a brand that actually sounds like you, sells like hell, and feels so damn good to show up for. Let's get bold. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome Alicia Santandreu onto the podcast today. Alicia has an incredible story. She's a mom of 2, a survivor of abuse, a teacher, healer, counselor, advocate, and speaker for the Safe Center, which is a local center for supporting victims of domestic violence and human trafficking. She's also a business owner and a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. Just like me, I'm also a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. And that's how I know Alicia, because I train jiu-jitsu at the school she's a co-owner of. So there's so much for us to talk about, especially from a female empowerment standpoint.
Yes.
That is what I care about more than anything. So I feel like we just have so much to talk about. To kick things off, Alicia, you are juggling so many things in your professional life and personal life, and you're just involved in so many different ways of helping people, and you have your hands in so many things, and you clearly have such an entrepreneurial spirit. My listeners are female entrepreneurs, so really great to hear from you. Can you just give us a little bit of an overview of the work you do in the female empowerment space and how exactly you work with clients? Because I know there are many ways that you work with clients and like how that looks.
I mean, there's so many different things. In the jiu-jitsu aspect, I feel like the empowerment, it's almost not even from me. I'm just teaching them how to protect themselves. And with that comes empowerment, as I'm sure you completely understand. There's just something empowering about being able to use my body against people who are so much bigger than me. And I feel like that's the thing that women have the most trouble with, or, you know, especially in abusive situations, typically you'll see like the female is smaller than the man in the situation.
Yeah.
It's not even that I bring empowerment to them. I think just giving them the tools for them to discover it themselves and within themselves. And I think that's my favorite part about getting to teach kids jiu-jitsu, like doing jiu-jitsu with adults and just teaching it in general, is seeing them go from this person that feels almost like they can't do anything at all to defend themselves, or they just feel like they're not capable of doing more than they're already doing. And then this comes and brings this huge fire inside of them that I think it's more about them bringing it to themselves, or like discovering it themselves. And I'm just here saying like, hey, like you can do this. You're very capable of doing this, because everybody can do jiu-jitsu. And you do see all different types of people doing jiu-jitsu, all different ages. Like they have so many master classes in competition still. And you see these 70, 8-year-old women and men who are still like hip tossing people.
I relate to that so much. People who don't do jujitsu may not realize how rare it is for women to be in jujitsu and continue with it.
Yeah.
I mean, so many men or women, most people who start jujitsu don't stick with it, just like
Yep.
any hobby, right?
Of
But
course.
it's just a very physically and mentally demanding sport. And there are so few women who make it to those high levels. So it's always just so incredible to get to talk to and train with fellow high level women in jujitsu.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the other part that I'd love to hear you talk about if you feel comfortable. I think most women who start down this path, and certainly those who stick with it, have some story of why they got into this.
Mm-hmm.
I know I do. I was just in a call a couple hours ago and someone asked me, "Oh, by the way, how'd you get into jujitsu?" And I said, the short version is I was followed back to my car late at night in a parking lot and it put the fear of God in me.
Yeah.
Thank God I got away from that situation physically unscathed, but I was like, I need to start doing something to know how to protect myself. So everyone has a story for how they got into this. Do you mind sharing a little bit about how you got started down this path?
No. So it was at least 10 years ago. I was in a very abusive relationship for a very long time. And it ended really badly. He tried to kill me and I just did not want to feel like that ever again. I didn't want to feel like I was useless. Like I couldn't do anything. Like if he was going to kill me, he could have killed me. I didn't want to feel like that ever again. Like I couldn't even fight back. What I was doing clearly wasn't enough. I didn't know what I was doing or how to defend myself. So I just never wanted to be in that position again. And being a female, I knew that this could happen even if it wasn't in a relationship. Like you said, you were just walking back to your car. I had a situation happen to me with the girls where I was followed by somebody walking back to my car, and thank God I have awareness and I got them in the car and I was able to get to my side of the car. Like you said too, like I resonated so much with that story. I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. I got there in the nick of time where I was able to get in my car, lock it, and he was already trying to open the fucking car door. And thank God. And I was going to fucking hit him. He came in front of my car. I thought that was going to do something. And I was like, I will hit you.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with mom and her kids because you mean nothing.
Yeah.
So I never wanted to feel like that again. And I ended up getting into Muay Thai, actually first. And I had heard, oh, Muay Thai is really good and Krav Maga is really good. And I did Muay Thai for a very long time. And then, I wanted to compete. My mom was like, if you compete, I'm going to disown you because she's like, you will ruin your face. You're too pretty. And then I started thinking about it and I was like, well, yes, I would not want to get like elbowed in my face because I think I'm a pretty beautiful woman. So
you are a beautiful woman.
I'd like to keep myself looking like that as long as possible. No, but I just didn't want to get hurt in that sense.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me try jujitsu. Sure.
Yeah. Which is totally a safe, no injury sport, right?
I was like, we just roll around on the ground. It's fun.
Yeah. I'm laughing because I'm just constantly dealing with injuries. Alicia came and watched me. I did a tournament at our school just the other day and my neck is killing because I was against this girl who was much, much larger than me and she clamped her legs on my neck and it was very, very painful. So it's
jiu-jitsu. It's so much fun.
We have our fair share of injuries in jiu-jitsu, but certainly Muay Thai comes with and striking sports come with that other element of potential injury.
Yes, of course.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, I'm so sorry that you went through that experience, but it's so incredible how you've transformed that. You're not only training yourself to be this empowered woman who has that mindset of, think about that story you just told of you were with your girls and someone's trying to attack you and like you went like full force in like, I will kill you if you try to hurt me, right? And that's a mindset that I don't think most people have. And I know that because I teach women self-defense. And when I work with women who have no training background, they're very timid. They don't want to even think about putting themselves in that mindset. You've not only embodied that, but now you're teaching other women how to be empowered. And that's just incredible. It's really been so amazing to watch your journey, even the short amount of time that we've known each other. You also work with women to help them get out of toxic, abusive relationships. Can you talk a little bit about that work?
Yes, I'm trying to be like a one-stop shop sort of deal. So I offer not only self-defense, but I offer counseling, empowerment counseling, or just therapy, one-on-one or group setting if needed be. I've definitely been thinking about some stuff in the works with my friend who's opening up a wellness center. And we have a lot of great ideas for some classes and stuff. So I can't
incredible.
Share that part.
Yeah. We'll have to have you back once you get that launched.
Really cool. Stay tuned. I offer counseling services. I offer empowerment coaching and just helping ignite that fire. A lot of times people who have gone through abuse, they don't want to learn how to do self-defense, right? That's not the first thing they want to do. They don't want to go back into that fight or flight mode. And of course, if you're abused by a man, you don't want to go and now roll around with men and fight for your life, not really fighting for your life because obviously it's a safe setting, but there were some times when I was starting jiu-jitsu where I was in positions that I was in when my ex would be abusive to me or when he tried to kill me. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't do this. I would have to take a minute and sit. So I think getting them empowered or getting them ready. I offer healing, Reiki and angelic IET healing. So it's kind of full circle. If they're still in the relationship, getting them to feel safe, getting them the resources that they would need and the people that they would need to speak to get out. That's where like the Safe Center comes in to play a lot because I used their resources when I was in my abusive relationship and I got out and they were the only safe haven that I had. Because, you know, I went in there and the security's pretty tight and I was like, whoa, okay, like it's not just some place anybody can walk into. And then I walked in and everybody was very welcoming and there was a little girl there and she like gave me a picture. It was just a safe place. And there I received counseling services. They helped me with finding lawyers. It was just great. So like some people don't know that these are options that you can do. So they come to me and I help them work through it. If need be, I give them the resources that they need that maybe I can't give them, like the Safe Center can. And then offer the healing because it's traumatic to go through abuse. And depending on how long you've been through it, there's a lot. And it could be manifesting into now, not only is it so deep the wounds and the trauma, but it can manifest into sickness. It can manifest into brain fog. A lot of people who experience abuse experience brain fog and feeling like they can't even think or like they feel brain dead or almost like dementia.
Yeah, it's like a dissociation almost.
Exactly. That's the word. Dissociation. Yeah. Exactly. So helping them through that and helping them realize who they are and that this is a chapter that has happened, but it doesn't define who you are and it doesn't define your future. And let's make sure that we do the healing work in all aspects and get you prepared when you're ready to go and defend yourself. Like I said, you don't have to be in an abusive relationship. Women are targets. It's just unfortunately how it is.
Yep. I'm familiar with Reiki and I've never heard of angelic IT. What is that?
So angelic healing, IT, it's again like another energy work healing, but it's channeling the healing energies of angels. You can work with Archangel Michael or Archangel Gabriel or Raphael, working with their energy to help heal really deep rooted trauma that could be generational or it could be something that you buried as a child and it's locked up so far in your subconscious that you don't even know it's there.
Interesting.
And allows the person to heal on not just a physical level, but like cellular level. So we have multiple energy fields. And to put it in the most simplest terms, we have a bunch of energy fields and you need to heal in all energy fields. Cause let's say you might have something that needs to be healed in the physical realm. Okay. Well, then we pass that blockage, but now it won't go past the spiritual realm or like the emotional realm. So now we have to heal it through that layer. And then it's bringing that blockage and that trauma through each layer and releasing it. And it's a great way to do it without having the client or the patient relive that experience.
I'm very familiar with trauma therapy. There are many, many modes of trauma therapy, but certainly there are many that really do require reliving that trauma in a lot of ways, which can itself be traumatic.
And especially for someone who maybe is just starting their journey of leaving abuse or haven't even begun it yet, they want to start to try and get out. You have to do this in a gentle way, I think. They're already going through so much and their body in that constant state of fight or flight. And there's already so much emotions and stressors on the body. I don't think it's adding anything good to rip the Band-Aid off and then like pour fucking vodka on it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I can definitely see that. It's so clear, like how much this is values driven work for you. Everything I do is super values driven. I only work with clients that are super values driven. I always say if someone's coming to me, if they have a company that sells a specific type of drill bit, I'm like, okay, somebody needs that drill bit, but you're not the right company for me because I'm not going to be able to work with that, right? Quick pause. Can we talk about content for a second? If you're staring at a blank screen more often than you're hitting post, it might be because you're trying to create content that doesn't fit your actual strengths. It's kind of like wearing someone else's jeans. They may look super good on your friend, but you put them on and they are not comfortable and they just aren't doing your butt any favors. That's why I created the Content Marketing Power Type quiz. It's free and it helps you figure out the kind of content you were made to create. The kind of content that feels natural, sustainable, and actually connects with your people in a way that lights you up. In just 45 seconds, or maybe even 30 if you're quick about it, you're going to find out your power type and get custom recommendations to make content feel easier and more effective. Head on over to honeybeebold.com/quiz. That's HONEYBEBOLD.com/quiz. Take it and then DM me your result because I kind of need to know. All right, let's dive back into the episode. When you think about I always call it identity pillars, which is what you stand for as an entrepreneur, what drives you as a person. What words come to mind when you think about what are my identity pillars? What is the foundation of who I am and what I stand for?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is mom. That's literally the most important thing in my life, above anything. It's crazy what having children can do to you, or for most people. Like some people, they're just like whatever about it, but like I just like fully took on the role of mom, and as stressful as it gets, like that's my number one.
And you have the most beautiful girls.
They're so cute. They're downstairs watching a movie. Yeah, that's definitely right on the forefront. And then I would say healer, and that I feel like encompasses a lot. Warrior, because when I think of what I am, I kind of think of myself as like a spiritual warrior, because my soul has been through so much in this lifetime and in other lifetimes, and none of my other previous lives did any fucking healing work. So like I'm doing it all in this lifetime and it's fucking rough, but I feel like it's making me into this person that like I never knew could have even existed.
Yeah.
And then I look at my kids and I'm like, I have to be this person. So I would say mom, healer, spiritual warrior, just all around badass.
Yeah. I love it.
And of course, businesswoman, obviously.
Exactly. It's so funny because I really do. I think this podcast is about entrepreneurship and I'm speaking to entrepreneurs, but we're all doing this for much bigger reasons than just running a business, right? And I think that
what drives you to start your business.
Yeah. It's almost ancillary to the other pieces of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I happen to be running a business, but it's to serve a much bigger purpose.
Exactly.
And,
business owners, we offer a service.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We're helping in ways, whether you work at a deli or you are a therapist or, you're a lawyer or you are a jiu-jitsu coach, or you're a teacher, you're giving a service and you're helping impact people's lives in different ways. Listen, when I go, if I'm having a shitty day and I go to my favorite food place and my food just puts me in such a better mood. I'm just like, you guys make my day. You make my day better. You know, and it's the little things that you really don't realize you are impacting people's lives in so many other ways.
Absolutely. And obviously, I'm benefiting very greatly from one of your businesses.
Yes.
I'm at your gym almost every day, and it's such a huge part of my life. And it's so clear also the effort as a business owner, like making that a very impactful experience for everyone who walks through the door. I've been to many jiu-jitsu gyms, and that's not the case for every place. Yeah. So what would you say is your superpower when it comes to helping your clients, especially when you're helping your clients navigate these incredibly sensitive challenges with abuse and getting out of these very, very traumatic experiences? What do you do better than anyone else?
I think better than anybody else. I have more patience than anyone I've ever met. I have such a big heart that I just have the ability to hold space for literally anybody and as much shit as they feel they have, which isn't shit. It's just things you need to let go of. I feel like being able to hold that space for them, like I don't judge people. And I know people are always like, oh, I don't judge anyone. But I really just think that everybody has the life that you're supposed to live, and the life that you're living is the best thing for you. If you're feeling like you're not in that path, I'm here to help you get there. Even if you're not in abuse, like I do offer counseling, not just to abuse victims. I think about those things are the most important when dealing with trauma. You need to have patience because it's a long road sometimes. You go back so much in abuse, and I think it's that trauma bond. And it's also just the fear of, well, what's going to be my life outside of it? How you're made to feel like you can't do anything without this person. You are put to feel so low and shitty about yourself that you literally don't see the light inside of you anymore. People say when someone leaves abuse, they start to glow again. And I really think that that says something because you have a light inside of you. And when people are abusive, they're putting their darkness and their negativity inside of you and trying to snuff out your light. And I think that's such a telltale sign when they're starting to really heal is that they start to get their glow back again because that light is being put back inside of them.
Yeah. I love that. And I think it ties so closely to actually my next question, because it's tied to what you were talking about earlier, where people, when they're in these traumatic situations, they kind of dissociate and they lose touch with themselves and they lose touch with their light also, right? And I think the other piece of that is women's intuition. And I wanted to hear you talk a little bit about women's intuition, because I think it's such a huge piece of everything, of being a woman, of being a female entrepreneur, of everything. And obviously you've worked with and lived abuse in a way that I have not, thank God. But I imagine that's another piece that comes back, that women who are in these situations, they lose touch with their innate intuition. And we have such strong intuition as women, right? We know, we have that gut feeling.
Women are just like superhuman. Let's be real. We have magical powers. We can bring life into the fucking world.
Yeah.
We are magical beings. But I mean, again, when you're in abuse, you are made to feel like you're crazy. You're like, wait a minute, you said that. Or like when they gaslight you and it's like, no, this happened. I was there that night. Like I saw you flirting with this person, or like I read the text message that you said to this person, or what do you mean? Like you pushed me down the stairs, whatever it is. And they'll look at you and be like, no, I don't know what you mean. Or if you know that they're lying, or with my ex, he was a drug addict in and out of rehab. And I would say like, I know you're using again. And he would be like, no, like, you're crazy. What are you talking about? And I'd be like, no, I literally found drugs. Oh, I don't know how those got there. What do you mean?
Right.
They weren't there yesterday and now they're there today. So like you're made to feel like your intuition isn't intuition anymore. You're just fucking crazy. Oh, she's just a crazy bitch. Sometimes then these women are labeled as being crazy or paranoid or anxious. You start getting labeled as other things and then you start to question it. Maybe I am crazy. Like maybe I am just paranoid. Like maybe I am just overthinking things. I believe in God. And if you don't believe in God, you have to believe that there's just some divine energy or the universe or there's some sort of force. And I believe in connection with my ancestors. You know, you get signs and you'll see them and they'll come and slap you in the face and you'll be like, no, it's just me being crazy. Like, I'm just fucking crazy. And then it comes to surface and you're like, no, I wasn't crazy.
When we're talking about women who are going through abuse, that's obviously not an uncommon, unfortunately. It is so common, but it is kind of an extreme example, obviously. But I think that even women who have not experienced that level of gaslighting and toxic messages, all of that, right? Even women who haven't experienced that, like I think societally, it's kind of drilled into us to ignore our intuition, right?
Yes.
We are told to ignore that. And this is the number one thing that I talk to both my women self-defense students and my female entrepreneurs that I work with on both sides. I'm just constantly like, you need to trust your gut. You need to trust your gut. This is
that's true.
The most important thing. You need to trust your gut. And so this is probably my favorite question to ask, because I think it's something a lot of people don't necessarily think about, although I feel like you might have thought about this. If money were no object, tomorrow you get a cash injection of $1 million, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. What would you be doing differently, if anything, in your business, in your life?
I think that's hard. I mean, the first thing I think I would do is put money aside for the girls. Something that my mom did for me and my brothers was she put a down payment for a house. She built it up since we were little. So I think I think I would do something to that extent somehow. I think I would buy us a house and then I would make a wellness center / maybe somehow incorporate a safe space for people who are dealing with abuse. I think that would be cool to maybe have some sort of double. I think that's what I would do. I've never had enough money to donate like a significant amount of money to a foundation that I believe in. So I think that I would like to do that too.
What's always beautiful to me about that question is it's actually just doing more of what you're doing now, right? It's like being more present as a mom and being more present for your clients in bigger ways and like doing just more of what you're doing. And that is always like such a signal. You're doing all the right things, which is awesome. Last question. What do you think is the most important thing for newer female entrepreneurs? Because I work with a lot of women who are like just starting their businesses. What do you think is important for them to understand about building a values-driven business?
I think just always being true to who you are is a big thing. If you're trying to get into a business, like you have to live the business. You can't start a jiu-jitsu academy and you don't do jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? You can't have a pet store and not know anything about animals. You have to live your truth and be who you are and be genuine, and then you're gonna attract all of the people that you want to attract. So you're gonna attract your clients, you're gonna attract the money and the success, and everything else will come with it. But I think that keeping to who you are and showcasing who you are and don't put a facade, because not only is that probably so exhausting, but it's not going to be fulfilling. And if you're going to put in the money, the time, the effort, and the sacrifice to be a business owner, and especially for a female business owner, we have to do a lot. And if you're going to do it, then live, enjoy what you're doing, be who you are.
Yeah. And I think that's really why I help female entrepreneurs build the businesses that I help them build, because I think that you just captured it so perfectly. It's about getting in touch with who you are, because so many women are disconnected from that, and build on top of that. And when you're building something that is a like full representation of who you are as a person, you're going to love that business, and you're going to attract exactly the people who you want in your orbit. That is the magic that happens when you're doing that. So this was so great. I'm so glad we got to chat finally.
Yes.
And it was so incredible to hear your story. And I am just looking forward to continuing to see you evolve and see all these incredible projects come to light. You mentioned one or two, but I feel like you've probably got a dozen on the back burner somewhere kind of working. So I So I'm excited to see more and more come to light. And I thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. This podcast in general is just so awesome. And I hope to have you on mine one day.
Right. Another thing that you've got cooking.
Thank you so much for not only having me on here, but thank you for like doing this for women, because we got to stick together. And I think that's the most important thing. Women need to stop competing with each other and let's fucking help each other out.
Yep, absolutely. All right, beautiful human. That's a wrap on this episode of Bold Women in Business. This episode was brought to you by my company, Honey Be Bold, with music by Shmukaleli. But before you go, don't forget to take the Content Marketing Power Type quiz at honeybebold.com/quiz, because when your content fits your power type, showing up gets way easier and your marketing actually starts working for you. Until next time, stay bold, stay kind, and keep doing it your way.